See, NASA could do this too if they weren't pussies about it. When did humanity forget the dream? What is the dream, you may ask? Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the star.
Get on with it! Yes! Get on with it!
Fine, it's space. The dream is space. The dream's always been space. From before the time of the Romans naming each planet, and even before your quintillionth great-grandparent realized eating rocks was a bad idea. Humanity has looked up to the night sky and always asked one simple question. What if? Although, here recently, I feel like the question has become why. And I think it started right around the time of this.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant...
Dick!
Yeah.
Take a look out of starboard.
Space commercialization, starting with the suborbital rocket New Shepard, is, at least for me, the beginning of this problem. This phallus-shaped piece of nonsense was the moment that space, in the minds of the general population, became the ultimate destination for billionaires who bought one too many yachts that week. And, while I personally believe that space tourism is good, at some point it just became more about celebrities going up there than the actual missions, just rolling it into the culture war bullshit that we already have to contend to within our daily lives. No, Katy Perry, I don't need to see your pupils dilate as you hold a flower to the camera. I can go outside and see a flower. When was the last time you released a good song anyway? Was it Roar? I think it was Roar. Wait, no, Dark Horse was pretty good too. Was that before Roar? That reminds me of Woman's World. Fuck, that song was awful. Plus, weren't there those allegations? Oh man, I should probably unadd her from my Spotify. Wait. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, space. See, that's exactly the problem I'm talking about. What should be an act of togetherness, space travel, conquering the bounds of the atmosphere, is instead reduced to what the celebrity of the week is doing. And to be perfectly clear, this problem goes well beyond this one specific rocket. SpaceX has had a myriad of issues both technologically and morally. And despite their great strides into the heavy launch vehicle department, their motto of move fast and break things has skewed public perception to thinking that their Starship program both is not worth the risk and is largely unsustainable, despite their goal being the direct opposite. And Blue Origin, the ones who started this whole space tourism craze, recently had a successful launch of their New Glenn rocket. However, public perception was more focused on the landing of the booster than the fact that it sent 2 satellites to Mars at the same time. Also, there's the fact that the company itself may have just set back the moon landing by a full year considering what just happened to Pad 36.
Did somebody say boom?
Public perception of the space program has been trending downwards in recent years, with many questioning why we're focusing on space travel when we should be working on problems at home. And it feels more and more like we're just banging rocks together when we should be lighting fires. I mean, ultimately it is difficult. I'm not going to pretend I'm better than literal rocket scientists. But as space travel becomes more and more common, it's plainly noticeable that to the average person it has become nearly mundane. In the same way that airplanes have become mundane. Yeah, we can do these things. We have proved we can do these things. So what's the point? What's the point of the dream if we can just do it? And while cynical, that's not entirely wrong. SpaceX's Falcon 9 is a miracle of technology that can land a skyscraper-sized booster onto a ship in the middle of the ocean. But now that's become so common that it's just another Tuesday. There's nothing to really capture the public's imagination anymore. And I'll be honest, I started feeling that way too. Years and years of what feels like no boundaries being pushed, and the farthest we went being low Earth orbit, it's just filled me with a sense of hopelessness for the future of space travel. However, something changed that. There was one event that happened fairly recently, that for me at least, made the dream have a flame again.
And lift off. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great...
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston, now controlling the flight of integrity on the Artemis 2 mission around the moon.
Artemis 2, the first mission since Apollo 17 to take humans beyond low Earth orbit, a mission to loop around the moon on what is known as a free return trajectory, and splash down off the coast of California, in essentially the least efficient one-way flight to California ever conceived by humans. Crewed by 4 people whose balls and ovaries probably weigh half the dry mass of the rocket itself, they collectively set a record for farthest human beings ever to travel from the planet Earth. And this is it. It felt like humanity finally remembered the dream. Not because the SLS rocket is particularly revolutionary. It really, really isn't. Half the thing is built from shuttle-era hardware old enough to take painkillers with their daily Fruit Loops. Not one bit of it is reusable, mostly because it's been in development hell since the early 2010s, but it's inspiring because it had a destination, had a purpose, and it wasn't weighed down by all the celebrity nonsense we've become so accustomed to. And for a brief moment, people remember that there's an entire universe out there waiting for us. I don't think people have had a moment to hold on to like this since Apollo 11, and you could feel the energy around Artemis. People are getting excited about space again, and I think that's important. Because of rising prices in the midst of a pointless war in the Middle East, and one of the worst wage gaps the United States has ever seen, people need something like this to remember why humanity is great. So, I'm gonna say this as gently as I can. Lock the fuck in already! Do you think it's pure coincidence that Kerbal Space Program, an 11-year-old space simulator, suddenly broke its all-time player record the exact same week humanity went back to the moon? No! We as a species have been longing for something like this. In the midst of one of the worst economic periods of the past century, people need something like this to hold on to. If NASA could achieve all of this with less than 1% of the United States tax budget, think about what would happen if we put aside these nonsense forever wars and focused on something truly great. So I repeat, lock the fuck in! Space is so cool. There's literally infinite things to do out there in the vast expanse, but we've only seen the tiniest amount of it. NASA is currently targeting a crewed lunar return as early as 2028. Do you understand how close that is? That is less than a year and a half away at the time this video is released. Most of my audience will still be in school by that time. And the moon's just the beginning. But despite everything, I just know that there's going to be some moron in every comment section claiming everything NASA puts out is AI or CGI. Which, you know, is a very bold claim to make on the internet with a phone using GPS satellites put there by NASA. That is using image sensor technology pioneered by NASA. While looking at weather forecasts generated from data collected by satellites launched by fucking NASA. But I digress. With the rampant amount of anti-intellectualism festering throughout the world right now, at this rate it feels like we would need a borderline apocalyptic event to finally push us out into the expanse of our universe. Like Astrophage from Project Hail Mary or the Exchange from the Scarlet Files. Watch the Scarlet Files! Space is still so cool. And one thing's for certain, we are not going to figure out the secrets of the universe sitting around on Earth with our thumbs up our proverbial rocket engines. Out there, we might finally figure out how life began. It could have been a panspermia event, or maybe it was because of hydrothermal vents interacting with organic compounds, or it could have been primordial soup, or... well, I mean, yeah, it could also be that. Although if we ran into aliens, wouldn't that almost certainly disprove— oh god, I'm sorry, forgive me! Oh, that's so cool! So cool!
My computer can't handle the rendering.
Oh, that's so cool! So cool!
Oh, it's so pretty! So pretty.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, the sun is white and only looks yellow because of atmospheric filtering. Also, Neptune and Uranus are mostly the same color after having their pictures color corrected. Yeah, I know, it's awful, isn't it? Y'all should subscribe to the channel. We just passed 1,000 subscribers and I cannot thank you all enough for that. New episodes will be out weekly or bi-weekly, be it TSF, FTF, or a video just like this one. Thank you all for watching and make sure to tip your driver.